Savage Kitchen. A couple days ago, I posted a recipe for a bourbon pecan flip. And in that video, I used a homemade Pecan Orgeat, and I promised I would give you the recipe, so here we are. Orgeat, if you're unfamiliar, is a French almond syrup. So you take almonds, you grind them up, you mix them with sugar and water and orange blossom water, and you get this divine syrup out of it. For that cocktail, I was pairing with a bourbon candy that has pecans in it, so it just seemed necessary to make a pecan-based orgeat instead of almond. So I'm gonna show you how to do this today. So historically, orgeat has been used in a lot of tiki drinks. So your Mai Tais, your Singapore slings, maybe, I don't know. Don't annihilate me in the comments. I know the cult of tiki is like very, very serious, and I might be mixing up those recipes, but orgeat is something that you will find in tiki drinks. Also, important to note, if you have a nut allergy and you go to a bar and order a drink that might be cloudy, make sure it doesn't have orgeat in it because, you know, hello EpiPen. So today, barring any allergic reactions, we're gonna play with some nuts. So this is what we're gonna need for our pecan orgeat recipe. You're gonna need about 2 cups of pecans, halved, whole, whatever you want. We're gonna end up grinding these up, but 2 cups before you chop or grind them. Then we're gonna need 1.5 cups of plain old white sugar. And then you're gonna need 1.25 cups of water. I'm gonna put exact measurements in the description below, so like nobody panic. So then to spice up our orgeat a little bit, we're going to add a couple ounces of your favorite bourbon, and then about 1 tablespoon of orange blossom water, and we're gonna add half of a vanilla bean. So let's get into it. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is grind up these pecans. Now, I'm actually gonna link to a video that Steve the bartender did about his DIY orgeat, and he gives a great tip in that video that says the more fine you grind your nuts, the more difficult it's gonna be to strain afterwards. It'll still strain, it's just gonna take a little bit longer. So we're going to grind these in a food processor because I got all the time in the world. We can let this drain overnight, it's not a big deal. Now, don't worry, if you don't have a food processor, you could chop these with a knife. You can, I'll refer to my daiquiri bar video where I got a little bit violent. You could beat these with a rolling pin and just roll them out. The point is you just want to break them up a little bit so that there's more surface area coming into contact with the liquid that this is going to soak in. Now, into a large bowl, we're gonna take our pecans and we're gonna soak these in 2 ounces bourbon, which I'm going dangerously low on my noble oak. It's okay, I've got backups. You don't have to add bourbon to this. I just like bourbon quite a lot. Obviously, if you follow Savage Kitchen, you can tell. And the reason I decided to add it to this syrup is I'm not going to only use this syrup in bourbon cocktails. It's something that you can use on pancakes, waffles, desserts, ice cream, rum cocktails even. So adding the bourbon just adds a little bit more dimension, another layer of flavor to a really delicious syrup. Okay, so go ahead and put these aside and then let's make our simple syrup. Like any other simple syrup, it's just a combination of water and sugar. For this particular recipe, we're going to be using 1.5 cups of sugar and then 1.25 cups of water. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a stir because before we put this on heat, we're also going to add some orange blossom water, about 1 tablespoon. I'm just going to wing it. I don't know, that might have been a little less. It'll be fine. And oh, that smells so good. And then we're gonna take half of a vanilla bean. You can put the whole pod in the pot, but what you should do is split it and scrape it. And so to scrape a vanilla bean, you literally just run your knife down the center and then take the back edge of your knife and scrape and right into the pot. Also, this would be a really easy recipe to double. I recommend just doing that because you're gonna love this and go through it pretty quickly. This is the 4th batch I've made in less than a week. So onto the heat, and you're gonna bring this to a boil until the sugar is completely dissolved in the water and everything is clear. Once your simple syrup has come to a boil, we're going to pour that over our pecans that have been soaking in that little bit of bourbon. And just go ahead and let that vanilla bean sit in there and get real happy. And then cover this and let it sit at least 3 hours, but preferably overnight. The longer you let it sit, the more it's going to infuse that nut flavor into the syrup. And this is also kind of a similar technique if you've seen my video about making Nutella bourbon. That's called an enfleurage. And it's really about letting your liquid be in contact with surface area of another substance that's going to influence the flavor. So that's what we're doing here. So once this sits overnight and creates this beautiful, beautiful flavor, what you're gonna do is take this mixture and strain it through either a cheesecloth or a fine mesh strainer. It's gonna take a minute to drip through, so patience is key. But in the end, you wind up with this incredible Pecan Orgeat. And this might be a little bit crazy to taste since we're not tasting it in a cocktail, but I didn't do all this for nothing. Let's taste it. Ooh. Oh my God. You gotta taste this. Come here. Trust. Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone.
This is my wonderful editor, Christina. What do you think?
It needs to be on pancakes.
Okay. So you're saying you want pancakes.
I'm saying I want a drunk brunch.
Yeah, okay. We can make that happen. There you go. This is perfect for drunk brunch. Get on that thumbnail. So please let me know if you end up making this. There are a lot of wonderful orgeat recipes out there. Of course, I'm a little bit biased, but genuinely, this is incredible. So let me know if you make it. Let me know if you have ideas for variations. Leave me a comment below. If you're having fun with us, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Cheers, friends.